Today we're going to talk a little bit about Lightroom and using collections to either share them online as a gallery review for your clients, or using them to do in-person sales. They can be a nice feature to help you go through selected photos and do final selections with your clients, whether you're sending them an online link or sitting down with them in person and doing that using Lightroom. So let's dive in. So this was a headshot session that I did, and you know the standard process once you have everything imported. Everybody kind of has their own ways of doing this, I guess, but my way is, I'll sit here and just use the left and right arrow keys to quickly go through sets of images, and ones where the overall expression looks good. I will just use the number pad and set those. You can see down here, I use the number pad. Just if you hit 3, it sets the rating to 3. You can undo that by hitting 0. So that's how I cull images and image set quickly to start off with. I'll just scroll through and hit the 3 key on any of them that I think look good to start with. Once you have that, you can use these filters down here. And if you just click on the 3 stars, it will filter it out. So now I have 25 of 60 photos selected, and I've already done the editing on the final selections on this, so there are 2 extras here that are finished edits. But for me, on a headshot session like this, once I have it at this level, I've gone through and picked out the ones. I will do another pass just really quick, zoom in and go back through them one at a time to make sure the focus and everything else is good. And once I'm satisfied with that, if there's any of them that are not good, instead of 3, I might drop it down to 1 or 2 if I still kind of like it, but it's like really similar to another image like these two. They're almost the same. She just slightly leans. If you decide okay, go ahead and pick your favorite one. You don't need to let your client see all of them. You can just drop it down to a 1 or 2 using the number pad again like that, and then it drops out of that selection. But once you have all of the photos that you actually want to include in your gallery to review with your client, just Control A or Command A selects all of them. And then make sure you're still in the library module. You come down here into collections, and you can hit this little plus side and create a collection. Name it. So headshots. I'm just going to call this test for this purpose. Include selected photos and sync with Lightroom. If you're going to share this as a virtual link online for your clients to look at, you want to do this. I'm going to uncheck it because I've already done that in my other collection. I don't want to duplicate that and load up these photos again to my online set. So for this purpose, I'm going to not sync it, but I will show you what that looks like when it is synchronized. So create the collection, and it just shows up down here. And it is only those 25 photos. If you undo the selection for the star ratings, it only brings in the ones that you have selected from your original folder with the full set of images. Now, sometimes people are a little confused. They're like, is this actually duplicating those photos or doing anything? No, this is all just database electronic links. So this headshot test, there's no new copies of any of these folders. This is just saying, okay, here's a collection of those 25 photos. We're going to drop them here, and it references back to them. But any changes you do to the ones in the collection will be reflected in the ones in the main set. So if I go in here, for instance, just to show you, just blow it out exposure wise. I got my highlighter on there. Okay, so just a quick, okay, I edited the photo. Say I've done that. If you go back, excuse me, hit the wrong button. Go back to library, go back up to the original headshot folder. It is showing that same edit inside of that. Okay, so I just undo that. Don't need to have that crazy exposure. Okay, now, once you have the collection created, if you want to share it online, you need to right-click on the folder, Lightroom links, and it's not synced. So on my original one, this is the original folder, Lightroom links, you want to, there are a couple options here for public links. First of all, you need to make the collection public. This is already set that way, so now it's giving me the option to make it private, which means it takes it offline so that other people can't see it. Okay, so once you right-click and say make collection public, it will take a few minutes depending on how many photos you've gotten. It will start to sync with your Lightroom account online. After that is done, you will get this option. It'll be grayed out for a few minutes until everything is synchronized online. Once you have that finished, you'll get the copy public link option. So you just click that and it will copy the public link to the online version of this gallery. So we go, I'm gonna go, drop that into a window. The album is empty. That's nice. Why did it do that? Okay. I think I screwed something up. Imagine that. Okay, well, let's go to this one. Let's say I'm going to use this. Lightroom links, copy public link. All right. Now, if I do that, there we go. Sorry, not sure what happened to that account. It worked fine. I've done all the edit and given the client her photos. Pretend you didn't see that. Nothing wrong. I don't know. I think it was probably because I created that duplicate set and set it to not be a synchronized catalog. It kind of confused things. That's my assumption. Anyway, your client will get this view. Now, they don't need to create an Adobe account to view this, but if they want to leave comments and or like the photos, favorite them, there's a little heart icon as you select individual photos. If they want to do that, then they will need to create a free Adobe account to log in and go through them and leave those comments. So if you click on an individual photo, it will give you the option down here to, cancel. I need to sign in. Please sign in to like or unlike this photo or leave a comment. You can do that as well. You can ask your clients if they have any specific comments, things they want to address, like, oh my gosh, I love the photo, but I have crazy flyaway hairs. Can you clean those up? That kind of stuff. They can leave comments in there. If they don't want to do any of that, they can just cycle through them and decide, okay, I like number 7 and number 11, whatever. There's a couple different ways you can ask your clients to go through and review the photos and do that. So once that is done, if they log in and leave comments or like those photos, you will see this little yellow icon both in the folder next to the name of your collection. It'll give you that little yellow highlight. And each photo that they make a comment on will also get that yellow highlight. If they don't log in and just send you numbers of images that they like 7, 11, or whatever, keep in mind, those aren't the number from the file name. So if you are scrolling through and you see, you know, I've named these Cassandra 9986, etc., etc., it is the number in the order of the collection in your catalog. So one thing to keep in mind is if you go through and sort these, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit, but if you sort these by the comments instead of whatever the default was when you created the catalog, you're going to mess up the order of that. But okay, so they like 7 and 11. You want to come and select that one and then hit the P key to select it for pick. And 11, you can do a 5-star rating if you want to do it that way. Whatever you use to signify your final selections, just come into the overall grid view and look at the numbers in the upper left corners. That will match up to what was in the online view of this gallery. Now, fun kind of annoying thing is once you click on that photo and open it up, the yellow part disappears and it just turns to gray. So it's not as easy to see once you've actually clicked on a photo inside of Lightroom. But if you want to get everything that they liked or commented on sorted out, if you have this sort option down here by capture time, that's usually what I leave it on default wise. If you go to last comment time, that will bring, depending on whether you have it Z to A or A to Z, that will move everything that has been commented on or liked to the end or beginning of the overall set. Since I have this set to Z to A, it sets them at the end. If you want them in the front, you go to A to Z. So that sorting will let you see those much easier than if they're mixed in. And if you sent them a large set of photos, it can be kind of hard to pick them out. That can help you do that. Okay. So you might wonder, well, if somebody leaves a comment about what they want to have edited in an image, where is that? If you come all the way down to the bottom of the panel on the right side, you scroll down, there is a comments section, and it will show you whether they liked it or if they typed in a comment about, hey, can you fix my flyaway hair? That will show up in this box down here. Okay. And then it's a matter of, okay, if they've made their final decisions and those are all the ones they want and you're going to edit them and do whatever from there on, you can do that. They'll show up back in the main catalog. One thing that I typically do on anything that they select like this, I will flag it with the white flag. You can use the P button to flag that as a pick, and then do all of your editing from there. Because that just helps you, again, sort them out. When you're back in your own main gallery, you can filter them both by 3 stars and flagged as picks, so that anything in that main gallery that they have decided they want a finished file of, you can quickly get to that by filtering everything else out. Okay, now, if you're going to sit down and do this in person with a client, pretty much everything works the same way. You can set it up so that this view of Lightroom is on your main screen, and I'm assuming you'll want to attach to a second screen to show your clients. There's nothing wrong really with going through everything with this view showing your clients side by side, but it can be a little bit cleaner if you give them a second monitor, because what shows on that monitor is literally just a zoomed in view of that photo with nothing else. It's just a black border around the screen, and it fills as much of the screen as it can without cropping any of the images off to the side. And then as you go through, it changes and updates those over there. Now, say your client says, okay, I really like whatever this one. I've done a lot here. I'm going to go back to the other set for this. Oh my gosh. Sorry. There's just too many things that I did within that set for me to be able to show you what I'm trying to do. So say for instance, your client decides that she likes this one, and this one. Okay, so there's already a couple other ones picked. I'm going to flag them by the pick, so filter by that flag. You can see it dropped down to just those. There were a couple others that were already selected. So you can switch back and forth like that, just clicking on them, and it will update the other screen to show just the zoomed in view of that. The other thing you can do, if they decide, well, I really liked my smile in that one and that one, if you select both of them by holding Control while you click, so if I click on this one, it's just that selected, hit Control or Command on a Mac and pick this one, you have those two selected. If you hit the N key, or you can go up to View and Survey mode. I don't know why Survey is N, because S is for save, but whatever. I kind of remember next to each other for remembering. That's just my mental little thing. Now you can just click back and forth like this, and your second screen is showing just those two photos. You can select multiple ones like this, so you can have 3 and just go back and forth between them. So that view can kind of help you if you've got a bunch of things that your client wants to pick between and say, okay, do you like this one better or this one better, with this one better or this one better, and it just switches back and forth between those couple images, whichever one you click on. Okay, hit the E button, E key, to go back to your main individual view, or if you go to View and Loop again, don't know why E is loop, but there you have it. That can help you go through that whole process more easily and narrow down the images that your clients want a little faster. Now, there's nothing wrong if you're doing in-person sales. You don't have to create the quick collections. You can filter everything out in the main collection and do the same thing with the loop view and the N view, the survey mode. It all works the same way. I just find that creating that collection down there helps keep me from accidentally showing anything that might be out of focus or just not an ideal photo. Not that I want to hide anything, right? But you get it. If you're shooting a whole bunch of things and somebody yawns and blinks and has a weird, funny looking face, you might not want them to see it, because they, depending on who you're working with, they may already be super self-conscious, etc., etc. And most of the time, if something like that happens, we laugh about it and move on, but it just helps keep everything a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. So I hope that helps. There was a lot there, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.